Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. My name is Adara and today we're going to be doing something really fun. And I don't think you understand how excited I am. So for this week's read, we're going to base it off of fan art. So I've had my friends send me some fan art and for books I haven't read obviously. And then based on that fan art, I think I have like 8 pictures, 7 pictures, something like that. Then we're going to go through them and then I'm going to pick the books the fan arts are from that speaks to me the most. And I feel like fan art is usually from fantasy books. So I've got a little fantasy in my outfit today. I have a little sword here. I have a little sword in my hair. We got some golden bands around the arms. We kind of like inspired a little bit. I sadly do not have any armor I could pull out for the occasion. But I'm gonna put a screen recording here and then we're gonna look through the fan art that we found. And I'm so excited. So I haven't seen these pictures before. So what we're about to look at, we look at for the first time together, which I think is quite fun. And I don't know the names either. So as soon as we pick some, I send them to my friends and I'm like, hey, what book is this? And then we're gonna see which one we want to start with and how we want to do it. I'm so excited. First one. Ooh, this is gorgeous. Of course, I'm also gonna write the artist's name underneath all the pictures just so you can go explore the pictures yourself and actually give them the credit that they're due. Because I haven't found the pictures myself, I don't know the artist's name. So all credit due to whatever name is under this screen recording. Gorgeous, gives fantasy. I think we're in some magic, some boy obsessed, we like it. Medieval, maybe a ship because of the background. There's a horse. Okay, we're definitely playing around with death and magic, I think. Wait, this one's cute. Wait, this one's cute. Okay. I don't really know what a lot to say about it, so we're going off of... We probably have a younger main character. We have a graveyard. So I still think we're in some kind of magical elements, but I think it's more current time because of the clothing and the little stars on the tights. But it's a gorgeous art and I love the dog. I love dogs. Next one. Ooh, I know which one this is. And it is gorgeous. And is this the time we finally read it? I don't know. Let's decide later. Gorgeous. Okay, so we got badass bitch. We got hot, attractive MMC. And we got the blood spatter, the crows. I'm here for it. I mean, this one's just kind of cute, right? I love the curly hair on our female main character. Gorgeous. We're in a library, so I think it's more current time. But she's standing with a little candle, so maybe not. But the clothes is giving modern times, so probably. Gorgeous, but isn't giving a lot. This one kind of ate. This one kind of ate. This is probably one of our final contestants. Oh, this is gorgeous. And her standing with the knife. Oh wait, I know what this is. This is this book. Yeah, I mean it must be, right? Is this not a Cruel Prince? I've read of Cruel Prince. I'm gonna text them and ask them like, hey, is this? Because I don't want to read a book that I've already read. That feels like a bit against the point. Jack the Ripper, maybe? I'm seeing some Jack in the background. It's definitely giving London era. There's a man in a black cape that we can't really see. Some scared people. Ooh, this one ate. This one ate. I fear this is a pick as well. Oh, this is cute. No, this is so cute. I like this one. I like this one quite a lot. With the magic going on between them. But then the question is it magic or is it their like bond? I guess we'll find out. Ooh. Slay Queen. The problem is all of these are so good. All of these are so good. Because this, I want to read about her. I want to see what shenanigans she's up to because I know she'll be up to some shenanigans. I think I know what this one is and it's gorgeous. Why is there's so much good fan art in the world and I want to read all of it because I feel like fan art always makes you want to read the book so much more than just like a blurb because this is a slay. This is a slay. Oh, this is creepy. This is creepy. Like the man in the background freaks me out. The plague doctor pictures freak me out. The man in the background freaks me out. I'm not that sold on this. Wait, this is cute. This is cute. Why is there so much good fan art? Oh, I love a babe in tattoos though. I love a babe in tattoos. Okay, that's it. That's it. Let's see. What are we feeling? The ones that are speaking to me, we'll quickly go through them, is definitely this one. That's one of our picks. And then this one, but I fear that I've already read it. This one kind of has a vibe. Okay, what else did we get? This is hard. I think we go with this one. She's also just boobalicious, okay? One left. I think I'm between this one of the two girls. And I think we're in some kind of magic as well in here. But then in a sapphic romance. But then we're also on this one. And this one could also be a sleigh. I think we go with this one. Yeah, I think we go with this one. I am going to ask my friend who sent this picture if it is this book. Because if it's not that book, I do want to read it. But if it is that book, I've already read it, right? So either this one or this one, I think. I will text my friends and then I'll figure out which books I'm reading, I guess. And then I'll update you. I talked to my friends and apparently this one is Lore Olympus, which I've read. And this one was the Jennifer Armentrout one that I couldn't remember for the life of me. That's called From Blood and Ash. Because I've read that one like 2.5 years ago as well. Which means we need to pick a third one. And for the third one, I'm between this one and this one, I think. Let's go with this one. We'll now have to figure out which one that is. And when I figure out which one that is, I'll introduce all 3 of them that we end up with. And then we can figure out which one we want to start with. I figured out what all the books are. And I am scared and excited. Like, it's gonna be a fun time, but I was right, they're all fantasy. So the last one that we figured out, the one that we had to redecide on, is this picture. And it's 9th House. And I have heard a lot of good things about 9th House. But I have never been told that it's an easy read. So I am scared and excited. So, 9th House, and then we have this fan art, which is One Dark Window. I'm so excited. I know it's gonna be a banger. I know it's gonna be a banger. And then this fan art is Belladonna. I'm so excited. It's gonna be such a fun time. One thing I'm worried about though is that all of these are quite chunky. But I actually have 2 of them already on my physical TBR. So I only have to get 1 book, and that's 9th House. So excited about that one. I think the one I want to start with is One Dark Window, because I have a feeling that I'm gonna run through it. And then I think we'll do Belladonna, and then I think we'll do 9th House at the end. Just because then I have a very specific time frame of how long it can take, because I do want to have the video out. I am gonna update you guys when I start. Have any thoughts? Whatever, you'll know. Morning, babes. I am ready to start a book, and I am ready to start One Dark Window. And I'm really excited for this one. I know very little. I know that it's roughly about, it's a fantasy world. But if you get sick, you get a power. And that power is based on cards. And then she has a demon in her head. Honestly, babes, I'm probably lying to you. This sounds like a horrible summary of what the book is. But I'll update you if I'm right, because it sounds like I'm lying. But I'm gonna start it, and I'm really excited for it because I've heard so many good things. I've heard so many good things about it. So I want to sit down and read the entire thing right now. We're trying to be productive today, so I'm hopefully gonna be able to find it on audiobook. So I can be productive while. And hopefully it's a good narrator. There's absolutely nothing worse than a shitty narrator when you're trying to listen to the phone again. When you're trying to listen to an audiobook. So let's see if we can find it, because otherwise I might be able to be a little less productive today. And I kind of wanted to get a lot done. Let's see. I want a nap so bad. Whatever. I'm halfway through. I'm thinking it said like 54% or something. It's on Kindle Limited, so quickly. But let's see what the physical book says. I'm somewhere around here. I'm really liking it. It seems really fun. The romantic interest is interesting. He seems cool. I am into it. I'm having the same distance feeling that I had with the Dutch Romantics. And I think it's because I am actively doing something while, so I'm not paying full attention to it. And I think it's just because I don't do audiobook often enough to be used to taking in content that way. So I think that's just getting used to it. But I'm really liking it, and it seems so cool, and I love our main character. Our main character is badass bitch, okay? For my sake, like, I like the MMC, but for my sake, we could throw the guy out and just focus on the FMC. She's so cool. And her powers that we're like venturing through and experimenting with and figuring out what it means for us is feeding my soul. It's going a little slowly, not the book at all. It's really good pace-wise as well. And we're having a bit of a fake dating. I know that sounds weird. Bear with me. It is not. Ooh, it's not. So I'm enjoying it. I really, really am. And I can definitely see why this is highly rated by a lot of people. But I'm really excited to see what the second half is gonna look like. I know that it's a duology, so I know that we're gonna get a lot of content in here, but it's not gonna be the main problem, solution, conclusion, or whatever you wanna call it. I know that's gonna come in the second one, but I still think we'll have some kind of point of no return that happens somewhere around in here. And I'm really excited to see where we end up going with the powers that we have as a character. And I'm excited to see what we end up doing with the MMC, because we have a little bit. That's the thing, I have become really, really fond of fantasy books where we have a badass FMC, where she's just out to take over the world. And she's just, you know, badassing around. And then we just have a guy who's like, adds a little extra spice, you know? But it's not the main thing. I eat it up. But I will update you when I'm done, or if something spicy happens. I'm 80% through, so I just thought I'd check in with you real quick, because I'm having some thoughts. I'm here at right before chapter 30. I don't know if I feel like the romance is romancing. And maybe that doesn't make sense. I don't have that like giddy feeling. I don't have that. I'm not sure that I want the two of them. It's not that I don't want them together. I don't think I would care. Well, I know that I wouldn't care if they got together or not. Because I don't know if I'm feeling it. Not because he's bad or anything like that. It's just when I hear them together, it's like, oh, cool. There's no giddiness, there's no cute, it's just, yep, they sure are kissing. And I just wanted to say that because I'm pretty sure all of this is where it's gonna go down, right? So I just wanted to get my feelings out on that before we got into all the other stuff, so there's actual space for my feelings on the ending. I think I'll read the last 50 pages in the physical book, just to see if that makes a difference. But right now I'm not really cool story. But the romance is giving cool story, bro. So, let's see. Done. No bookmark. It was good. It was a good book. I stand by the fact that the romance didn't really do anything for me. But I thought the magic plot and the characters and our FMC and the pacing and the storytelling was amazing. So I'm gonna give it a 4-star. It's what I'm currently like putting my mind to, at least. And I'm definitely excited to read the second one. I think this is a book though that you get a lot out of going into it not knowing a lot. So the amount I've told you, more than enough. I really like it. But yeah, 4 stars. I'm not quite sure what I want to crochet for this though, because of course there are some very classic symbols. That's very easy to go to. But how am I gonna crochet a card? But I will figure that out. And then whenever I figure it out, I will put the clip here. Oh, shiny Belladonna. I'm so sorry. It's very floppy. Well, not very floppy, but floppy enough that it's a good and comfortable reading experience. Because I read the last 50 pages here, and babe, I could barely open the book. But yes, I'll start Belladonna. I know very little. I think it's about death and her having an affair. Well, it's not an affair, having a little lovers thing. That's it. Some good things I figured out is that even if I don't read it physically, then it's on Kindle Unlimited. We love it. I've heard a lot of people talk about it, so it can't be bad. Oh yeah, and this is the fan art that we picked this from. Yeah, so I'll update you when I have anything, or know what I'm doing, I was talking about. Little update. I am a good bit through it. I'm a bit over halfway. At page 31. Page 31, chapter 31. And I'm honestly a bit torn on it. And the reason I'm torn is that... Also, Merry Christmas, actually. It's the 1st of December for me. Merry Christmas. This is my Christmas read. I've yet to find the Christmas part. And I'm a bit torn on it because I feel like it's going incredibly slowly. The pacing is off for me for some reason. But I think maybe it's just because I don't really care about the setting. I thought it was like in modern times setting. It's not. It's like 1800 Victorian age. The thing Bridgerton. So I don't know. I think I just went into it expecting the wrong thing. And I just don't know. Yeah, I enjoyed Bridgerton. But I just don't know if I care enough about that entire time enough to want to read it. Does that make sense? We've met our main crew, I guess, right? And we have our main character, Signa. We have our main character, Signa, and then we have different MMCs. I'm almost feeling a love triangle. The love triangle in here confuses me a bit with the people who's a part of it, because we have Signa, Death, and a stable boy. Was not on my bingo card, I'm not gonna lie. I guess it should have been from the back of it, but it was not on my bingo card. Sure, it's interesting. I don't know why, but I feel like it's really slow to read. But I am hopefully gonna read the next bit now. It's on Kindle Unlimited, so I'm reading it on Kindle Unlimited. I was filming for my December TBR and I thought you might want a different background than you normally get in literally all the other clips. So I thought we'd do it here. I finished Belladonna and I'm honestly a bit torn about it. And the reason I'm torn about it is because it seemed a little slow. And it really wasn't that slow. But I don't know, something about it just didn't really appeal to me. And I think it is the time setting that was in. And that our main character focused throughout the entire thing a lot on the right way to behave. And she had this little book with her, which was like an etiquette guide thing for women. And of course that makes sense for the time setting that it was in, but it just, I think the time setting isn't for me. There was a little twist at then because it was a murder mystery. I don't know why that didn't go into my little head before the end that it was a murder mystery, but it was a murder mystery. And I guess I didn't guess who it was, so it did that pretty well. The romance was cute. I did end up giggling and like grinning a few times, so it wasn't bad or anything like that. It was just, if I say unimpressive, does that make sense? I had hoped for a bit more. I think the rating I want to leave it at for now at least is a 3. I'm stuck between a 3.5 and a 3.75, but I sadly think it's leaning to a 3.5. And that's because having a few cute scenes with the romance isn't really enough to even it out, I guess. And this is also the crochet we ended up doing for Belladonna. I picked up 9,000 since that's the last book we're supposed to read. And I read a bit, I'm 52 pages in, so it's nothing crazy. But it is a book that just, everyone that I've heard talking about it has really like said how much they absolutely love this book. But it is a chunker to read. And I can definitely see where they're coming from with it because I'm reading it and I'm confused. And I'm pretty confused. And I think that's what of the general consensus is, that it's a hard time with getting into it. Because there's no holding your hand. They just throw you in and hope you understand. And if you don't, that's your bad. So let's see where we end up with it, because I want to read it. I have a bit of a FOMO. I want to know what I'm missing out on. And from what people are telling me, it seems like I'm missing out. So I am excited to get further into it, but I am a bit worried that it's gonna be a slow one. Let's see. Good morning. I thought I would give you a little update. I honestly meant to update a bit earlier, but I started it like properly last night and I kind of read till 2 a.m. something like that. So I got pretty far through it. I got to 60%. What am I thinking? I am thinking there is some scenes in this book that are horribly uncomfortable. Like essay uncomfortable. And I don't feel like that was said anywhere. Maybe I'm remembering wrong, but I don't feel like I read any trigger warnings anywhere that said anything about essay. And it's not just once it happens, it's twice. And then it's talked about it happening for like 20 other women as well. And I didn't know that going into it, and I really wish I had. Because if I'm not told, I'm expecting, because I wasn't told, it's not in it. So it was like a jump scare. I don't know. Besides that though, I definitely see why people are saying it's hard to get into and why they say it's a confusing book. Because straight up the first 20%, you're just throwing you into it. Good luck, have fun. Hope something makes sense in there. And if not, not my problem. That's Lay Bardugo. So, Lay got me confused in the first, honestly, 25%. I'm not gonna lie. And then we got something told about Alex's, our main character's, background. And then shit started slowly making sense. And we just got, I don't even know if it's the MMC. Well, it is the MMC, but I don't know if it's like the romance interest. We have had no romance so far. None. And that's honestly fine. Because Alex is so fucking interesting as a character and the story surrounding her, badass. I'm having some little wet dreams about Alex here, okay? She is an absolute menace and I love her like that. So, what is Ninth House about? I'm gonna keep it pretty vague because since the author wants you to go in and be straight up confused for the first 20%, I don't want to ruin that for you. Ninth House is about this underground secret society that spans basically the entire world, it sounds like. And then we have our main character here who sees something that they call grays. And grays are a ghost that normal people can only see if they drink a specific potion. And the rest of the people in this society is normal. So she's out here seeing this ghost type that their work is half centered around, just on her own. And Alex has some problems with the police, let's say that mildly. She was a previous drug addict and like a really acting out character. And she is then one day invited to join this secret society that is going on at Yale. And then it's her being trained to be a specific person of almost a person of authority within this community when she's like fully educated, I guess. And then it's her learning to deal with this, but she is doing it in such a different way than the people have done before her, because this is a very like high society, expensive, old money, you know? And Alex ain't got old money. She's been broke her entire life. She's kind of taking her street smarts into this world of old money, and it's just so fucking interesting to see how she deals with it. And I am really, really excited to read the rest of this book, but I do feel it is a slow book until the 40-50% mark. That's when it really picks up. 45 is actually a good bet. But I am still disappointed that there was no kind of trigger warnings for the essay, especially when it's not just done once, but several times. But I'm gonna update you when I'm a bit further or when I'm done. I finished Ninth House, and this was such a good book. To the point where I'm not even sure where to settle it on its score because I'm considering a 5-star. I think this book was absolutely phenomenal written, and it was so real in some way. It showed some really hard themes with our main character that I really didn't expect us to go into detail with. Which also means that I would have liked a trigger warning for it from the beginning, but besides the point, I think it was absolutely wonderfully written. And it really surprised me when at the end of the book it said that she had also written Shadow and Bone and Six of Crows. Because I haven't read those books, but I am not seeing the correlation between this and that at all. But maybe when I read those books, it'll make sense to me. For some reason, I always miss that it's a murder mystery. I don't know how I do it. It's just I'm reading and oh yeah, we're solving a crime, and then suddenly we're solving it, and I'm like, oh, a murder mystery. I'm not even looking for the person. Well, that's the thing. I'm looking for the person who done it, but it doesn't click in my head till the absolute last second that this was a murder mystery. How does that even work? And it's now the second time in just this video. Like I did it with Belladonna as well. That's silly. But regarding the murder mystery, I had, you know how you always like narrow it down to like a few people? I did that and ended up having that person in my little group of suspects. So job well done. So it wasn't something I really put a lot of thought into, but I really thoroughly enjoyed it. And we had these different plot lines throughout, and I enjoyed every single one of them, which is quite rare, that you don't have like these two ones that you absolutely love and a third one you could chuck out the window. There was also these dual timelines, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it as well, and which I usually hated. I hate it. Just let me be in this one time, okay? I feel like I'm wasting my time, but it didn't in this one. It actually worked really well with the story, and it worked really well for me to be told of both of our characters. I think it sets up wonderfully for the second book, and I am immediately putting that on my actually Christmas wish list. I think this was an amazing book, and I'm really excited to read the second one. I'm not that sure on what to rate the book though. And the reason that I am having some doubts is because when I finished it, I was a bit in like shock is the wrong word, but I was really ingesting the book and having a big think on what I actually thought of it. I was telling my boyfriend I'm considering putting it at 5-star. I'm between a 4.75 and 5-star. And then he said, well, if you're doubting it, it's not a 5-star. Which, yeah. So I am putting Ninth House at 4.75 stars. And that might change over time, but right now that's where I feel like it's the most fitting, because it didn't fully give me that 5-star feels. But I don't want you to doubt it for a single second that this was an absolutely amazing book. I'm not quite sure what I want to crochet for this though, because there's the snake, yeah, but there's also like ghost, yeah. I've kind of done both of those already, so they feel a bit disappointing to do again. So I will figure out what I'm doing and I'll put the clip here. I honestly had so much fun looking at fan art and choosing what I wanted to read based on that. Just because I don't utilize it enough, I don't look at fan art enough, and it gives such a wonderful picture of what you're going into, of the vibe of the book, of the characters of the book. And it always just gives you a little bit of an appetite to go into it. And I definitely had that with this, because I got a little sneak peek of what I was going into, and I really enjoyed that actually. I think we chose some absolutely amazing books, and it was books that's been on my radar for a while, so I'm really happy that we got them read. So a little summary. I maybe not say the exact same rating that I gave earlier, but these are the ratings that I am now settling on and feeling like a comfortable fits for the book that I read. We started with One Dark Window, and that was an absolute banger of a book, and I loved it, and I know that the second book will be even better. I am really excited to read the second book as well, and I really hope I can get to it within the next while. So we are giving that a 4.25, and I think that's a good rating, and I know it's a bit higher than our previous rating, but I've settled on it and I keep thinking about it, and I feel like that's the perfect rating for it, because I feel like 4 is too low, but 4.5 is a bit too high. We ended up crocheting this for it, and I really hope, I'm gonna be honest, I'm as surprised as you right now of what I ended up crocheting for it. After One Dark Window, we read Belladonna. And Belladonna was not what I expected. And the reason it wasn't what I expected is because the fact that it was in the Victorian age really threw me out of it. And I think it's because that's just not really a storyline that I'm interested in. So I think I'm settling on a 3.5. Yeah, I think a 3.5 is where I'm comfortable putting it, because it wasn't a bad book. I think sadly just the time that it was put in wasn't for me. We ended up crocheting this for it, and I think the little Belladonna berries are perfect for this book. Then we had the last one, and that's Ninth House. And I know I've just talked about it in length, and I feel like it deserves that. So I am definitely sticking with my 4.75. Because yeah, ninth house deserves to be preached upon for hours, and I really understand why the people who has read this book loves it. I think go into it being a little bit careful, because there are some really triggering subjects that are brought on and are talked about in depth, and they make me uncomfortable as well. So watch out for yourself. But I ended up crocheting this for him, which I also feels fits perfectly to this book, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm so excited to read the second one. And I honestly am about One Dark Window as well. This was an amazing reading week, and I really read some books that I've wanted or heard about for a very long time. But I'm really happy that you hung out with me today, and I'm really excited to see you in the next one. Bye guys.